Rutabagas. This is one of those vegetables not very many people eat. It used to be the potato before we had potatoes, along with turnips. They were the mainstay for the meals, for your starch. This is not a pretty vegetable. It's not one of the pretty ones. This is really the one that you shouldn't buy. How big it is. See how big that is? I can't reach my hands all the way around. That's because it's going to be woody and pithy inside. Actually, the size you want to buy is like this, because it'll be sweeter and tender and it won't have so much woody stuff to it. Now, peeling one is really difficult. I want to show you how hard it is before I show you how to do it the easy way. So come down right down here, and you want to peel off. You have to peel off some, but it is like really hard to do. And I just worry about people cutting their fingers. It would take quite a while. Now while we're doing this, I want to show you, when you have a turnip, it is white. But when you have a rutabaga, it's yellow down here. You'll see that yellowish, and you'll notice on the outside it's yellow. Now sometimes they're waxed on the outside, and if they are, it doesn't matter. That just keeps the moisture in, and you're going to peel it off anyway. So this is the rutabaga. I think it's really kind of pretty how it does it at the top. This is a cross between cabbage and turnips. Now, because this is so hard to peel, I want to show you the best way to do that. Let me bring this one in here. This one I put in the microwave. I cut off the end so it could steam out. I put it in the microwave for 5 minutes, just like that by itself, plain. And now it'll be a lot easier to peel. And usually when they come out of the microwave, they're going to be hot. You want them to sit for about 10 or 15 minutes so it doesn't really burn you. And they kind of sing when they're in the microwave. It's kind of interesting to look at. But now the skin just kind of peels off, and it comes off very easily. You just kind of scrape it off. So that makes it a lot easier to peel. It makes it so that you don't have to worry so much about, see how that peels off? About cutting yourself. And I always worry about the safety, especially when I always hope that parents are going to teach their kids how to cook, and you don't want to do anything that's too dangerous for them. Okay, now, you'll think that it's cooked in 5 minutes. It is not. They are very dense, and the interesting thing about rutabagas is they have almost every vitamin and mineral in them, and they have the full complement of the B vitamins. Such a healthy vegetable. And this is a very inexpensive vegetable. So I'm going to take this off the plate, put it on my cutting board, and I'm going to show you how to get it ready to eat raw. You actually can eat it raw. Some people don't like it raw. It does have kind of a pungent flavor because it is crossed with the cabbage and the turnip, and nobody knows exactly when that happened. It's been around a long time in Eastern Europe, and this was a mainstay. It still is in some countries. And you know, it's so healthy for you. We should all think about making it our mainstay. So now I want to show you how to do this for raw eating. Cut off the end. You'll see down here there's still more, and when you start cutting, you'll feel that it's not done all the way through. Okay? Now, that way it gets off the dirt. You do the other end, because this is the top. And this is so much easier to cut than before it was put in the microwave for 5 minutes, let me tell you. And then you can just slice this. You can julienne it, you know, put it into stripes. But most of the people that eat it raw make it into circles like this. You cut it down, not too thick because you don't want to have too much of it. And then you can chop this up, and you can use this into salads or as a snack. You know, the thing I find about snacks is if you leave them around the house in a little special place, people tend to eat it. So that's a good way to get people eating it. Now, the main way I like to eat it actually is cooked. And I don't, you know, it's just because of the flavor. I grew up on rutabagas. My mother was always having rutabagas and turnips. Now, if you're not sure your family will like these, one of the secrets is you can mash it up with potatoes. Put a little bit in, nobody will notice, but you'll have a lot more. A lot more vitamins and minerals, because they are actually healthier than potatoes. So now I'm going to steam it, because that's the way I like it. So I'm going to cut it down the middle, and then I cut it like about 3-4 times, depending on how big it is, because I don't want to take forever to do the steaming. And then I'm going to put it into a steamer in my pan. This does have vitamin C in it, so this way it helps save it. It will get soft enough so that you can mash it up really well. You can put other things in here to steam while you're doing this. You could have some potatoes in here if that's what you were going to mix it up with. This is the best way to cook it because then you can test it along the way. You don't know how woody they're going to be. This one's not at all. It was so easy to cut through. If they're woody, you can feel it as you're cutting it. But it's amazing how soft it gets once it's cooked. Now, the other thing about rutabagas is that they aren't around during most of the year. They're only a fall crop. They were used for livestock food too. And most of them now in the United States are grown in Oregon, which I find very interesting, along with the turnips. So the rutabaga is one of those vegetables that you may not want to tell everybody you're doing yet because they may not want to try it. So you need to kind of help them learn how to eat it. Now, when you're storing them, when you buy them, one of the things to look for, see down at the bottom how they've hatched this one up? And that's okay when it comes to the bottom of it because they have to dig it up out of the ground. But like this one was a little high. So you want to be sure and look at the bottom and be sure there's no big chunks out of them because of the way they're harvested. You can imagine they're growing underneath the ground. Now most of them have a lot of little roots on them because you know that holds it into the ground. So you need to scrub these really well, even if you're going to peel it and do it in the microwave. Scrub them really well underneath the running water before you put them in the microwave to make it easier to peel. Now there are some, you'll never see the greens on the tops of these. They don't usually sell rutabaga greens. First of all, they're not as big and they probably taste just like cabbage. So that way they don't sell those very often. You'll find them on the tops of turnips, but not on the tops of rutabagas. And when you get them home, you can just keep them unwrapped at room temperature and they'll keep for quite a while. That's one of the reasons why they were so popular, because they keep well, which is one of the things you want in the wintertime, especially when we didn't have refrigeration. These were wonderful. So there's much more information about the rutabagas, and I would really encourage you to at least buy one and try it and do it the different ways. And there's more ideas on my website.